My name is Dr. Kingsley Mayowa Okonoda. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and certified management consultant. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Network Consult Training and Development. At Network Consult, we help individuals, organizations, and communities to actualize their potentials, to cope with normal stresses of life, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to society. We do this through our training seminars, workshops, and conferences on the issues of mental health promotion, peak performance, management consulting, and personal development. Among trainings, seminars, workshops that we have done for individuals and organizations like this, Network Consult also holds the Strategic Planning and Goal Setting Seminar in the first week of January annually, as well as the Financial Independence and Wealth Creation Seminar on the 1st of October every year. We also have the issues of mental health promotions on the 10th of October, which is the World Mental Health Day, as well as the 26th of June, the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. We invite you to avail yourself of any of our trainings, workshops, and conferences at Network Consult so that you can have the life of
Network Consult. Everyone needs a push in life. Anybody can be somebody, through development and building one's capacity, financially, health-wise. Everyone can be better, 'cause we're taking you higher, You can be entertaining, so educated, making you so independent. Through Network Consult, helping communities, Network Consult, individuals and organizations, Network Consult, Network Consult, in total health.
Good evening, Plateau, good evening, Nigeria. Now, welcome to this beautiful Friday evening edition of your program, our program, Mind Work for Life and Living. I'm your host, Dr. Kingsley Mayowa Okonoda. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and a certified management consultant. You are already acquainted with our program that Mind Work for Life and Living is an initiative of Network Consult to help you to acquire a mindset, aptitude, and attitude that you need to make a success in any and every area of your life, be it business, career, marriage, governance, and even politics. We also help you to achieve and maintain a sound mind that will help you to live the life of abundance that you deserve. On today's program, we are going to have a follow-up to what we discussed last week. If you recollect that last week, we talked about child sexual abuse. And today we are still going to discuss something that is related to that talks about our sexuality, actually. Now, sexual health is a state of physical, emotional, mental, as well as social well-being in relationship or in relations to our sexuality. And so, if we are talking about our sexuality, sexual health helps us to have a positive attitude to our sexuality and be respectful in our approach to sexual relationships. Now, sexual relationships should be pleasurable, should be safe, and the experience should be such that it is devoid of coercion or discrimination or violence. And then there should be sexual rights. People should be able to negotiate their sexuality or sexual activities. People should be protected, people should be respected, and all that. Now, we know from research and practice that majority of young people, adolescents in particular, lack the knowledge required to make decisions that are related to their sexual responsibility, and so they are left to the whims and caprices of people who may be predators. They may be vulnerable to coercion, to sexually transmitted infections, and sometimes unintended pregnancy. That's why we'll be talking about sexuality education today, what most people would call sexual education or sex education. Now, what do we mean by sexuality education? And why do we actually have to have sexuality education? What are the components, and when and where should it be done? And there are some misconceptions concerning sexuality education. What are the benefits, if there are any? What are the disadvantages, if there are any? Does sexuality education go against our spiritual or religious or cultural values? Now, to discuss these issues and many more, I've invited somebody that is eminently qualified to talk with me and discuss this with us today. However, before we launch into the discussion, we're going to go on a short break now. When we come back, we will launch it fully. Stay tuned and don't go away. Hello there. My name is Dr. Kingsley Mayowa Okonoda. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and certified management consultant. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Network Consult Training and Development. At Network Consult, we help individuals, organizations, and communities to actualize their potentials, cope with normal stresses of life, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to society.
My name is Oyewumi Olufemi. I've been following Dr. Okonoda for a while, but last year, October 1st, I attended a seminar at NetWealth. I've been having great fears in starting up a business, which I had lots of plans. They were just on paper. But after I came to the program, he said some things that just made me forget about my fears. My business has started and it's doing very, very well.
At Network Consult Limited, we invite you to avail yourself of our trainings, workshops, and conferences so that you can have the life of abundance that you deserve. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. My name is Esther Envuladu, and I'm the admin officer of Network Consult Limited. And I'm excited to let you know that our training and seminars are now available on CDs and DVDs. Our previous training and seminars, like the Financial Independent and Wealth Creation Seminar, Strategic Planning and Goal Setting Seminar, and our Suicide Prevention Seminars are all available on CDs and DVDs for you to watch and follow. You can get these CDs and DVDs at our center, Network Medical Services, State Locus by Nelo Plaza. We also offer in-house training of these seminars and trainings. We offer them at our center in groups of 10 and 5. You can afford yourself of this opportunity, or we can come to your organization and offer this training for your staff at an affordable price. I hope you take advantage of this wonderful package. See you soon.
Welcome back. We'll be talking about sexuality education with Dr. Esther Envuladu of the Department of Community Medicine at the University of Jos, as well as Jos University Teaching Hospital. Now, if you want to join us on the conversation, you can call us on our call line 070-414-80874. I'm sure you will get those that on your screen shortly. Now, if you are calling, you make sure that you turn down the volume of your TV set and communicate with us through your phone. Otherwise, there will be echoes and feedbacks that will not allow us to enjoy the conversation. You can also send us an SMS on SMS only line 080-561-84963. Now, usually when we want people to be part of the conversation, so we might be interrupting you to give them opportunity to speak. We have the call already. Hello? Hello? What's on? Okay. All right, maybe that person was just testing the waters. All right. Now, we are talking about the components, and you have rolled out a whole gamut of things. But I know that sexual issues also are very emotional issues among us. So what about the emotional part? Let's see if we can do this. Hello? Okay, we lost that call. So what about the emotional part of it? Do you provide information, education about the emotional component of sexuality?
Yes, if you look at the most curriculum will have part of that, because we'll have that.
Esther, just go to your phone. Let's see if we can. Oh, we lost that call. All right. If you are trying to call and you are not able to get us, just make sure that you send an SMS. That gives you a chance to get your. Now, many at times people will not send these SMSs on time. We would have been off air before we receive the SMS. So it's better you send the SMSs on time so that we can read them as soon as possible. Hello? Okay, the Lord has gone. All right, we are talking about the emotional components.
Yes, like I said, growing up, when you look at sexuality and you're teaching them, is because this is a time when they begin to be sensitive about who they are, and they are becoming conscious of their bodies.
All right, we have a caller here.
Okay.
Hello? All right, sorry about that. It's one of those things. All right.
Yes, so they are, and these are some of the things that can lead them either way, in either direction, whether going positively or negatively in terms of the behavior. And whatever also happens to them, can also affect their emotions and affect the way they feel. What I mean by that is some, because they want to feel good about it, they're easily influenced.
That means acceptance, right?
Acceptance.
Let's see if we can accept this one. Hello. Yes. Good afternoon. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Sam.
What's the name?
My name is James.
James. From where?
Lantan.
Lantan. All right. Can you go ahead and make your contribution?
The way you are taking is good to us. It's good that you advise us.
Okay. All right.
So I thank you for that.
All right. Thank you very much, James.
Thank you.
Do you have any question or any contributions apart from that?
Don't have any.
All right. Thank you very much, James. God bless you. All right. So James is appreciating what you are doing with
Thank you.
from Lantan.
Yeah.
All right.
So we were talking about that in terms of how it affects their emotions.
Emotions.
Yes. Like I said, because of that, some take some decisions that are not right. Others again, especially for the younger ones, if you ask, they have gone into sex not voluntarily.
Let's take this call. You can accept this one voluntarily. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's the name and where are you calling from?
I'm from Rancha. My name is Marcus Mavoajayi.
Okay, Marcus Mavoajayi.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I really enjoy your discussion.
Okay.
I was a student through the University of Jos.
Okay.
Yeah, I study philosophy of education.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
So in discussion, actually, you are really giving us the knowledge about this sexuality education.
Okay.
Because some of us, we have so many children around us that sometimes, even though we are teaching them on how to go on about it, they'll be thinking that it's because we help them. But now that you are saying it out, some of them, they are here and they are listening. I'm also telling them that they should come so that they will hear from the professors and so on and so forth. So I really appreciate your effort.
Thank you,
my honorable prof.
That's the prophecy. Thank you, Marcus. God bless you. All right. So Marcus is appreciating you.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right. So
yes, and the discussion has been interrupted, but it's good.
Yes, there's another caller here. Let's see if we can.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from? Your name is what? Mary. From where?
From Genta.
Okay, from Genta. Can you go ahead and make your contribution? Hello, Mary from Genta. All right. But you might have to speak out so that we can hear you better. Oh.
Okay. So.
All right. So essentially, you are talking about the fact that the issue of acceptance, the issue of self-esteem, they make some people make some choices, either rightly or wrongly.
Yes, and then when they are abused, that affects them, sometimes even up to adulthood. It takes time for you to even unwind some of those things. So the abuse can affect them emotionally. And like you as psychiatrists, you can tell. Some of them go on in life with that trauma.
I know somebody that doesn't want to get married.
Yes.
Because of abuses in childhood.
Yes.
Let's take this call.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, we lost that call. All right. So, so abuses can occur, it can affect their later life, right?
Yes. So when you're educating them, you also help them on how to deal with such issues. And you help them, that's why you teach them how to acquire skills on how to go about it. Some of them are very naive, they don't know. But when you educate them, they know when to stand for their rights. They know when to say yes or no.
Hello? Hello?
What you are doing,
Okay.
especially in the present contemporary time we are in.
Okay.
I want the people to also encourage parents, especially mothers, to open up to these young ones. Tell them the truth. They should start the education, sex education to these children without shy at all.
Okay.
Tell them the consequences. Teach them many things before they go to school.
Okay.
And secondly, also talk to parents who share only a room with the mature children or children of 10 years, 9 years, 8 years. We should also discourage that. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Very beautiful contribution that you made there.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we were talking about sexuality education and the components and all that. And while we were off air, Sarah Joshua Gawan from Gindiri called to make some contribution. You want to respond?
Yes. Before what Sarah said, someone earlier on had called and talked about them being with young people around them, and they've been talking about it. I want to appreciate that, but thank you also for taking time to talk to young people like that. But the way we talk with them matters a lot.
Okay.
And when we talk to them, how do we go about it? You want to talk to a young child, let's take an adolescent for example, and you begin with the angle of being judgmental. And you've condemned this child already. This child can't come to you to openly discuss.
Okay.
So this is one of the things I want to say.
Okay.
And then now to take up on what Sarah said, it is important that parents should be involved.
Okay.
Sexuality education begins from home.
From home.
Yes, because when we talked about the age, there's a certain age that they are not yet in school, that you expect that their teachers should be the ones to be responsible for that.
Okay.
And even when they go to school and come back, they meet you at home. So as parents, what do you teach them? I have a problem with us parents when we give just one-sided information.
Okay.
It is okay for us to talk about our values, which is part of what sexuality education is all about.
Okay.
But in talking about your values, give the accurate information and say it to them the way they will understand and everything.
Accurate information.
Accurate information.
Not to hide it, to say,
not to hide it.
If a boy touches you,
you will die.
Pregnant.
You will die.
Okay.
Or
Let's
you get pregnant.
Let's take this call.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, we lost that call. So all those things that they do in order to make people afraid.
Yes. Fear is not
It's
it.
not it.
You don't put fear, but you're trying to make this child become very confident. So from the time that they are children, what are you telling them about their bodies? What should they identify? What should they do when they get to puberty? Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, my ID, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay. Can you make a contribution?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so for the program, is about the issue of yaran da suke tashi a kuma da irin rayuwar da suke bibi da kuma irin amfanin da ake zama a ciki. So ina son kawo cewa iyaye su dinga hankali da irin especially amfani da suke da irin mutanen da su ya'yan suke rayuwa da kuma irin wuraren da suke shiga. So ina although ina kallon programming da juma ba ina yanzu ba na cika samuwa, so yau na ce ban just try in jani, so na gani kuma gashi na iya na rage za ku na ce to ba ba da sa litu wanda na iya kama nawa da kuma nuna masu iyali ne da kuma inda za a yi a daga yara a hanyar da ya kamata.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much there.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sure Esther will tell me what's about that.
Yes.
Because it was like Greek to me.
Okay. I think he had mentioned about the environment where our children are, where they live, and then what they do, and how important it is for parents to also talk to their children. I think to summarize some of the bits that I got from him, which is very good, because environment also influence what children do.
They say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes. Yes, but when you live in an environment that exposes them to such vices, of course it's easy for them to fall into it. So parents need to also teach their children from home. But when you're teaching them, let's tell them how it is. Tell them the accuracy of the information. And when they do this, this is likely to happen. And when they are faced with this, give them the full picture. It is important we talk about abstinence. It is also important to tell them, if you don't, if you're doing this and this is likely to happen.
Let's take this call before we go. Hello?
Thank you.
Yes, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Blessing.
Blessing from where?
Utan.
Okay, from Utan. Can you quickly make your contribution? We need to go on a break now. Oh, we lost that call. All right. We need to take a break now so that when we come back, we will take the final thoughts and then we round up. Make sure you stay tuned and you don't go away.
A push in life. Anybody can be somebody, through development and building one's capacity, financially, health-wise. Everyone can be better, 'cause we're taking you higher, You can be entertaining, so educated, making you so independent. Through network comes on, helping communities. Network comes on, individuals and organizations. Network comes on, network comes on.
Welcome back. Our guest today is Dr. Esther Envuladu. Dr. Esther Envuladu is a consultant public health physician. And she's a university don actually. She is the head of the Department of Community Medicine at the University of Jos, as well as the Jos University Teaching Hospital. Esther, it's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
All right. Now, before we go into the issue of sexual education or sexuality education, as the case may be, we would like to get to know you, because that's our tradition. It's not just good to just start talking to somebody without knowing a little about the person. Your family background, family of origin, your ethnicity, if you like, your schooling, and your family now, and so on and so forth. All right.
Thank you very much, Okonoda. Well, you've already introduced me. I am Esther Envuladu.
Okay.
I used to be known as Esther Envuladu.
Okay.
Since you said in my family before and now, but I am now Envuladu.
Okay.
I am married to Engineer Beatrice Envuladu. I have 3 children, 3 boys.
Oh, really?
Yes. I have 3 boys. What else do you want to know? So you've already said about my academic background. I'm also someone who is passionate about the young people, adolescent and young people, and then women. I have a passion for reproductive health, which is where I'm subspecializing right now, under community medicine or public health, if you want to call it that way. So that's a bit about me. I'm a Christian. Okay. Yes.
All right. Now, for viewers at home, Esther was my lecturer. We taught me sexual and reproductive health in my master's for public health. So she's about that.
Well, we can talk about that later.
All right, but the question would be that, of course, when you are becoming a doctor, most of us, we knew about treating patients, not that the community will become our patients, like you people do now. Yeah. So, at what point did you, decide to go into community medicine? And then, even in community medicine, why are you specializing in sexual and reproductive health?
Well, should I say good question? But interesting, really. My interest in community medicine actually started from undergraduate days. During my preclinical period. You know, when we used to have lectures in community medicine. You know, funny enough, sometimes you look at your teachers and the way they teach and the things they say, you know, sometimes those things begin to form you, you know, help you to do some thinking. So for me, it began that time, and I began to take interest in community medicine because then I understood community medicine to be more of looking at a broader perspective than an individual. And I thought, well, that would be a nice thing to do, to look at broader picture of people. I really didn't know much about community medicine at that point, but at least I knew that it's more of preventive medicine. So I was more interested in preventive medicine than the curative medicine at that point. Then coming into clinicals, I had important people I was looking up to. You know, it's my honor to actually mention them here. One of whom was Professor Zuaka. He's still my boss. He's still my mentor, and he has molded me. He has taught me a lot up to now. He's still my teacher. So yes, so I used to admire a lot about him, the way he taught, you know, and the passion that he had. There was so much about community medicine. That's about the choice of studying, or specializing in community medicine. Coming to reproductive health, I think along the line of residency was when I started making a choice for reproductive health, really. I began with a passion for women. I wanted to help women like myself. You know, especially that I come from, you know, my mother had only girls.
Oh, really? So, and now you have only boys.
One of those things you can't explain what God is doing, you know. Yes, so I picked interest in that, and I thought that I was interested in the health of women. So that's how it began, and then it evolved gradually when I began to have children, I saw that my interest started drifting a bit, and I picked interest in the young people. You know, so that's how
That's interesting.
I landed in this place.
You know, that story that you told about Professor Zwaka,
Yes.
he is actually one of the people that made me also do Masters in Public Health.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was Vice Chairman of NME, I organized the CME. He humbly sat through that CME. And anytime I'm giving my lectures, he will say, you have public health flair.
Yeah.
In fact, there's no mistaking it.
Yeah.
So that thing kept on ringing until I found myself, and now I'm a public health person, though not like you.
So we're just one of many like this. There are many like us.
Exactly. All right, so let's launch into the discussion.
Yes.
What is sexuality education?
Well, sexuality education is actually what we'll say a comprehensive approach.
Comprehensive.
Yes,
All right.
approach that is both right-based, gender-based approach that is focused on giving or educating individuals, especially when you look at the young ones and the children, you know, educating them about their sexuality, how they can go about it. It is a package that actually looks at how you give accurate information.
Accurate. I saw the way you stressed that.
Yes, because, yeah, accurate information, I will stress that again, that is age appropriate.
Age appropriate.
Yes, for our children. That helps them, you know, both informing them and helping them to gain skills.
Skills.
Yes, to gain skills and how to go about their choices in life when you talk about their sexual life. And that's not just to end at the sexual life, but it's because you're looking at the ripple effect when it comes to reproductive health and in their adulthood. The education, when we talk about it, you hear people say it's all about sex. It's not just about sex, you know, but you're teaching them, you know, what is it about themselves, understanding themselves, understanding their bodies, understanding, you know, the anatomy, if you want to put it that way, and then nurturing them to also learn to take positive attitude to sexuality. You know, you talk about respectful way of behaving when you talk about sexual behavior, and it also talks about how they make informed and rightful decision. You know, when they know that, then they can do it rightly. He talks about respect too for one another, and he talks about respect for the next person. You know, perhaps we can say being gender sensitive. You know, you begin to groom them from this time. That's about it. It also looks on right values. Right values. Yes, there's right values that is culture sensitive too, and you know, contextualized to their environment and where they are. So it looks at beyond that. It helps them to also know not to discriminate, and you know, and to also in them have some form of self-esteem. You know, they are proud of who they are and they know what they are doing. It teaches also about abuse. They know at that time, and they know what is, you know, like you had mentioned earlier on, how they can have skills of negotiating right in the right way, whether to say yes or no to certain things. You know, so it's a whole lot of package.
So it's not just about teaching people sex?
No. When you talk about sex, it's just some part of it where it comes in as one of those things that you would teach them, you know, but then it's not and it's also depending on the age of the children or the individuals when you're talking about sexuality education, for them, not just about sex. You know.
All right, so I think we have almost answered the next thing I wanted to ask, or that I will be asking now. Why do we need it? Why do we need this sexuality education? Why? Is it not natural? People go, when the womb starts, they have secondary sexual characteristics, and when the time comes, they get involved in sexual activities, they marry, they have children. Why are you making a fuss out of sexuality? Why do we need? What's the rationale behind talking about sexuality education?
The rationale behind it is for you to help these young ones, even before they get to the age, before they get to this age, that they know what is right, they know what is wrong, and they begin to, somewhere in their rights, when it comes, when they are faced with it, they know what to do. If you look at statistics, and in fact, you don't have to be someone who is into research or deep into literature search to know. Just look around you in the environment. You will see that our young boys and girls are into all manner of sexual behavior. And when you talk about sexual behavior, with so many things going on, the sexual conducts, gender identity, we want to talk about it now because it's right here with us, and they take decisions not because they are not informed. So we have quite a number of studies have shown over 40 to about 48, depending on regions, where you see young people who are sexually active already.
I didn't get that.
Yes.
At what age?
Now, when you talk about our adolescents going into sexual activity as early as 8 years.
Wow.
Now, this is on average, but when you look at the median age, most studies will tell you is about between the ages of 10 and 15. So between the ages of 10 and 15, young
children.
Well, you see it as being children, but the world is changing, and they are exposed to many things, information at their beck and call. The internet is there for them. If they are not getting it at home, they are not getting it in school, they are getting it with friends, they are getting it from the media houses, they are getting it all around them.
So even before the parents start thinking, no, this person is still a child, they are already getting it outside.
They are already getting it. So that is why you will say it is important that the parents begin to teach them, right from the home.
So what would one be teaching a 10-year-old? At 10, I was still playing football all around the place. What will you be teaching a 10-year-old about sexuality, about sex, or whatever? Because that's one of the things people say, you people are just using style to initiate people. I remember one of those debates that we had, early sex debut and all that. So, because people are listening and they are wondering, these people, they are coming, they are 2018 and all that. So, what then are the components of that sexuality education? The components. And then maybe when we go through that, we'll now look at the age appropriateness and how we go about it. What are the components?
Well,
although you seem to have started mentioning it, but I want us to be deliberate now, because as people are following at home, they know that, okay, this time around they are talking about the components. These are the things that are to be taught within the sexuality education.
Okay. So I hope your grammar isn't too big for them when you say components.
You may break it down. You are the community experts.
Well, but maybe let's say what are those aspects or areas that you want to discuss with this, with the children or the young people as they grow. Yes, in discussing with them, one thing that you should note is that sexuality education is, it also takes into cognizance family violence.
Okay.
So you want to talk about family life.
Okay.
You want to talk about relationships from the family and then before the person goes outside. You want to talk about the composition of the body, or what you and I would say the anatomy of the body.
Okay.
And importantly, you want the children to know parts of their bodies that are very sensitive and should be private, or the genitals, if you want to call them. And then you also want to discuss with them things about behavior.
Okay.
Behavior, now we'll go deeper into sexual behavior. And you're putting values into them, what is right, you know, and you also, in part of the aspect that you will be discussing under sexuality education is sexual and reproductive health, because that is what you want to avoid. And you're looking at, okay, what happens when these ones are on their own? You talk about sex, yes. When is it right and when is it not right? Should you or should you not? You know, and you also talk about if you do, what happens? So you're talking about, you know, the outcome of this behavior. You talk about unintended pregnancies or unwanted pregnancies. It's been qualified to unintended because it happens, and then probably they just you want to keep it, so it is not, yes, you eventually accept it. You talk about sexually transmitted infections. You also talk about HIV, and now you know that they don't just stop here, but you're looking in the future. These things can also lead to many other things, like you will talk about some other cancers related to it too, you know. And then you want to talk about abuse, and you talk about respect for one another. These are all components of sexuality.
Right. Now I am getting signals from the bosses that we need to go on a break. When we come back, we are going to continue on that discussion, especially talking about, because everything you have mentioned, what about the emotional component? What about the emotional part and all that? We'll get back to all this. We have been talking with Dr. Esther Envuladu, who is a public health physician and the head of the Department of Community Medicine at the University of Jos, as well as the Jos University General Hospital, and she has been taking us through sexuality education. We are going to go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines so that you can ask your questions. You can join us in the discussion and you can seek clarifications about things that are not clear to you, and so on and so forth. Make sure you stay tuned and you don't go away.
Good day, everyone. My name is Esther Envuladu, and I'm the admin officer of Netwell Consult Limited. And I'm excited to let you know that our seminars and trainings are available on CDs and DVDs. Our seminars and trainings like the Financial Independent and Wealth Creation Seminar, Strategic Planning and Goal Setting Seminar, and our Suicide Prevention Seminars are all now available on CDs and DVDs for you to watch and follow up. You can get these CDs and DVDs at our center, Netwell's Medical Services, State Locals by Melo Plaza. And we also offer these seminars and trainings in-house at our center, in groups of 10 and 5. You can come in groups of 10 and 5 and receive this training, or we can come to your organization and offer this training for your staff at an affordable price. I hope you take advantage of this wonderful package. See you soon. Bye.
Everyone needs a push in life. Anybody can be somebody, through development and building one's capacity, financially, health-wise. Everyone can be better, 'cause we're taking you higher, You can be entertaining, so educated, making you so independent. Through Netwell Consult, helping communities, Netwell Consult, individuals and organizations, Netwell Consult,
I've been talking about sexuality education with Dr. Esther Envuladu, who is a consultant public health physician and the head of Department of Community Medicine at the University of Jos, as well as the Jos University Teaching Hospital. And she has taken us through a whole lot of things concerning how we can introduce the topic of sexuality to our children and all that. Now, time is no more our friend, as you can see. And now, a lot of people say that apart from the home, sexuality is also taught in school. And part of the fear is that it may erode the values. For example, a teacher who doesn't have the same maybe religious or cultural orientation as the parents of this child might be introducing other things, like in our environment, if you say we should not discriminate, people are now talking about male to male, female to female, and all those kind of stuff. How do you handle such, could I call it objections or fears that people might have concerning teaching sexuality education in schools?
Thank you. Teaching sexuality in school is guided.
Okay.
It is not just out of the blues. And that's why whether you're a health worker or you're a teacher, you should be sensitive enough not to bring in your personal beliefs and values into it.
Okay.
You know, but say what is right. Like I've said before. Yes, in terms of, I guess what you're trying to say, you know, when we're beginning to come up with ideas of gender orientation, and some probably believe in same-sex and all that, I guess that's one part of what you're saying. Well, we can't deny that it is here with us. But what I would say is it should be targeted towards respect.
Respect.
Yes, that we teach our children how to respect one another. Now, the fact that we've not taught, for example, you have not taught your boy child how to respect a girl child, you know, it also helps, you know, it is one of the reasons why you can see abuse and rape and so on. You also have not taught the girl child to know that she's valued, and so she's afraid and she feels that the boy child, I mean, has the
Is it always
right.
about the girl child?
No,
what about the boy?
that's what I'm telling you. So she feels, well, one, she can be intimidated, yes, but there are also instances where boys do not know who they are to, you know, like that. But in terms of teaching the wrong things, no, it should not be so. You have a curriculum. You should follow it. And you should not bring in what you personally believe, but what is right. Even as parents, when you teach, when you tell them the truth, you can tell them what's your preference. You're saying, this is the right way to do this, but I will prefer, for example, let me say, I will prefer that you abstain. But you're growing up. If you have to have sex, you should know that it should not be unprotected, because you can be exposed to sexually transmitted infection, you can be exposed to these unintended pregnancy and that. And you should also let them know that they are responsible for the decisions that they take. So,
responsibility.
Yes, responsibility. You teach them responsibility. By the time you do that, you trust enough that the child can reason because you've told them everything. Yes, and they can take the right decision.
Hello? Hello? Alright, if you are calling us and we pick that call, it means that you have a very great privilege because a number of people are calling and the calls are jamming together. Hello? Yes, you have an opportunity to just give us the contribution now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Peter from
Okay. Peace Ambassador, wonderful. Can you go ahead and make a contribution?
Yes, your program is good.
Okay.
One of the things that these younger ones are affecting the family is that in terms of family setup, you'll discover that in terms of birthing, instead of a male child to birth a male child, you'll see that a boy will be birthing a female child, or a lady will be birthing a male child, which can place them under danger zone. And the third one, even those that are adults, are also involved. Because the management of it is very difficult, and we need education that will educate the child to come out mentally to make a courage of telling the problems that they are facing. But the problem the adults, even those who are professors or doctors, are even refusing the younger ones, eliminating them. So we are saying that the management education of sexual activities should be given to the parents and even the society.
Thank you, Peace Ambassador Keller from Boyle Secondary School, Gindi. You want to respond to that? Because you have raised some pertinent issues there. We know about parents who even sexually abuse their children. Now it's talking about female bathing boys, male bathing girls and all that. Where do we now draw the line? It becomes scary.
Yes.
That will be our last...
Okay, when you talk about that, you're talking about who has the power and who has the control now. When the girls have the power, they can misuse the power against the boys. So yes, you hear about boys being raped by girls, you know, and the same way goes the other way around. But it's unfortunate that we find out that even parents are sexually molesting their children, and that is sad.
That's our way to go now. It's very sad. We are not ending on a sad note. I know you are giving them a lot of information.
Yes, but the children should know that they have a right to speak out. They have a right to speak out and to report.
Thank you very much for being on the program today. I'm sure that when we call you, you will gladly oblige us.
Yes.
All right. So, viewers at home, this is the much we can take on the program today. We have talked about sexuality education, and you have seen the whole dimension of things that are involved. Make sure that you are safe. Make sure that you give accurate information, and you don't place yourself in precarious situation where you have you regret it for the rest of your life. So on this note that we say bye for now, until we come your way, same station, same time next week. God bless you.
Everyone needs a push in life. Anybody can be somebody, through development and building one's capacity, financially, health-wise. Everyone can be better, 'cause we're taking you higher, You can be entertaining, so educated, making you so independent.